Hi guys, we're back in the kitchen and we're beginning our American Spirit series this month for July, and we are doing that in celebration of America's 250th birthday, the sesquicentennial. So we are going to do a series of foods that are so American, and I don't know for our first one, I don't know anything that's more American than apple pie. So what I'm really showing you today, I'm not making a whole apple pie because it would be too long of a video for your attention span. So I have my pie prepped, and I just used, I know how to make a homemade pie crust, but when I am in a hurry, this is my go-to. I use a ready-made pie crust. I use pie filling out of the can, Comstock. I can make my own apple pie filling, but when I do my own apples, I put a little special something in there, so which all burns off. But for this video purpose, I'm using canned pie filling. I've got it pressed into my pie dish, and I've got my pie filling already in there. And the main thing I'm showing you is something my mom and grandma have done ever since I was little, ever since they'd probably let me have solid food. It's a crumb topping. And I love the way my mom makes it because it's not dry or powdery. It's so ooey gooey good. So it's simple, simple, simple. All you need is a half a cup of butter, a stick of butter, and I'm using my good butter here. And it's a cup of flour. And I've got my butter in here softened. I don't melt it because it gives it a different consistency. I like it when it is just softened. So we're gonna add a cup of flour. That's a half a cup of butter, which is a stick, a cup of flour, and a half a cup of packed brown sugar. So I'm gonna get that to come out of there, I think. Here it comes. There you go. So there's my ingredients in the bowl, and I'm gonna use my meat fork. I don't have a fancy tool for that. I probably did in the past and I ditched it. So I'm gonna begin just pressing that butter in, cutting it in, and we'll come back and then I'll show you how to put the crumb topping on. Okay, we've got this all cut in, and you can use a food processor to do this. It just doesn't give it the same consistency as using that big fork and cutting it in. And it helps when you have a husband that's willing to do the cutting in for you, because it's a little tiring on your hand, but it's the best consistency. So you can tell, I hope, on camera that it's this soft dough, that you don't see any of that flour powder. It's a soft dough, and I'm just gonna take my hand, nothing fancy, and just scatter it on top of my pie. I'm gonna cover the whole surface so all that pie filling is underneath. You kind of have to work to, it's really a kind of a good sensory experience because it feels so good. It's nice and soft and warm from the butter. It smells good too. And I'll show you, it turns out to be a beautiful pie, and you don't have to do any of that lattice stuff, and the flavor is delicious. I scraped my fork. I'm gonna scrape the bowl. We don't wanna lose any of that good bits. Okay, so I've scattered it all on, and I preheated my oven to 375, and I like a nice kind of, I don't know, soft crust on the bottom. That's probably one of my favorite parts other than this topping. So I did not pre-bake my crust, or crisp it or anything, and I just put all this nice crumb topping to cover the whole thing, and you should be able to see how great that looks. We're gonna put it in a 375 degree oven, and it's really gonna, because that pie filling's already cooked, it's gonna bake in probably 35 to 40 minutes. You just watch it, and you want your topping to be nice and brown and your edges of your pie crust to be nice and brown. So pop that in the oven, and then we're gonna have a taste. Okay, we've taken our pie out. Our filling was nice and bubbly. It was about 40 minutes baking. Our crust is crispy on the outside, and our little topping is nice and browned. So you can bake it longer if you want a little crispier. What I like about this is these aren't hard chunks on top of this pie, and they're not powdery and dry in your mouth. It is ooey gooey good. You can see it. My pie slice doesn't look all that great because I popped it right out of the oven hot and sliced it, and it doesn't, so you need to let it cool to have a nice, pretty slice of pie. So I'm gonna taste of my pie. It's hot. So good. I could just eat the topping all by itself. So give this simple and easy recipe a try. Make your apple pie this weekend for America's 250th. And I don't know anything more American than apple pie. And then be back with us next week to try another good old American recipe.